Lucille. This is my AEP 858 introduction video. I'm Tonya Alm, and this is my life. My grandkids, my livestock, my farm. And my favorite part of the one and only song that I can sing by heart is the John Denver, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, only I'm a girl. So, like I said, my grandkids are carrying lambs out, and then we have black-faced and white-faced sheep. We raise, we have a commercial herd of cattle, and we were raising goats, but we sold all of our goats last week, and we are probably going to end up selling all of the sheep as well. We're hoping that we can hang on to the cattle. We don't know yet. So some of the fun thoughts of you might be a farm kid are all of these things some of us have done, or I've done, especially going out and checking cows at night in my pajamas and rubber boots, definitely. And we know the value of those 5-gallon buckets. And just a few of these other special things that I've added here. I love to paint in my spare time, which I have done now that I'm taking classes. And of course, being the age that I am, sewing has been a very big part of my life. This book is my favorite book ever since my children were little, Is Your Mama Owama? And now I share that with my grandkids. And that's one of the books we always read when they spend the night. My favorite movie, and always will be, is Charlie Brown Christmas. And my favorite part is It's Not Such a Bad Little Tree. I've graduated with a double major in agriculture business and animal science from Northwestern Oklahoma State University. And of course now I'm attending Fort Hays, earning my master's in elementary education. And then next spring I will start my master's in special education. So my teaching history, it kind of started in Colorado. I graduated from Northwestern and I got a job teaching in Colorado. And so I couldn't find my Colorado license to put it on here. But I taught for 5 years in Colorado, agriculture and art. And then I quit teaching and went to the post office for a while. Then I came back to Oklahoma and I taught for 5 years. And I just finished my first year in Kansas as a 4th grade science and math teacher as a long-term sub. Then I was blessed to get a job with High Plains Cooperative. And I will be teaching special education this next fall, and hopefully for many, many years to come. So my goal, of course, is to finish my master's in elementary education. And of course, I'm almost finished, just why? And the more I learn, the better I am able to enhance learning, of course, with my children in school, and of course, my grandkids. And then I want to start and finish my master's in special education. I feel like my direction changed in the field, and I've always wanted and had the passion to help students, continuing to gain knowledge as well as working on being professional. Sometimes my mouth overloads my brain. So data used in the school. The school that I was in this year, we had Dibbles, of course, STAR Math and Reading. We also used Study Island, which I didn't put on here. And we used Kansas Assessment Program. Of course, that's the state test. I believe every school uses that. And new yearly data reports. I do not know what my new school will use, but I do know that since I will be in the field of special education, there is a lot more data that is used in order to help these students know where they need their extra help. And I'm looking forward to learning more of that. I do know that we look at data when we place them on certain things, on IEPs, on 405s, 504s, all of those different types of enhancement and helping. So critique my personal knowledge of how to use data, and I just have it here of focusing and prioritizing. Well, you have to focus on the data, yes, to see what the scoring is. But I also know of my experience with students that sometimes they don't always apply themselves as well as they should. So you need to be able to identify and communicate. And sometimes it doesn't hurt to test them twice and have that clarity on the data. So examining the feedback, we need to monitor students, not just on pencil and paper. They need to be monitored. You need to watch those kids, see how they're doing, because like I said, sometimes they don't do very well with the pencil and paper or even on an online test. So you just kind of watch them and see how they do, see how they learn. Not everybody learns the same, and you know that, or I know that. So emotional intelligence, giving my best efforts and treating students the same. I do pride myself on knowing that I am able to treat them all equal, because you don't show favoritism. That's just not right. And building those relationships and interactions with those students. So the plan to improve knowledge about data and data analysis, underneath I put it personal because it's provide a learning environment for all kids. Whether you've got kids on IEPs or you've got kids that just need that little extra help and they don't qualify for an IEP. All kids need that learning environment. Public interest, being able to share data with the students, to parents, colleagues, anybody that, is in contact with that student, that they need to know what's going on with this kiddo, and what have you been doing in the classroom, and how have you been helping them, what have you seen change. And of course the self-control, self-discipline, and integrity. Integrity is always very important, and I teach that even in my classroom. Integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody is around. So your data doesn't give the whole story. You watch, you learn, you take notes, see what's going on. And of course, tasks and employee centeredness, admin, they're not in your classroom, are they? They don't know what's going on. So everybody needs to be on the same page. Administrators, classroom teachers, parents, everybody that's involved with these children, they need to be updated on what your data says, but they also need to know what you're seeing every day in the classroom. So when I critiqued myself, I have had the same mindset that all students can learn, and I think that's the reason I think that is because I myself, being a product of the 60s, was back there when special ed had no place and there was no help, and you either got it or you didn't. And I got it by the help of family, friends, certainly not colleagues or teachers or anybody like that, but the teacher was very mean. She didn't know how to deal with someone who had permanent brain damage. So it was a difficult struggle, and I really did hate school. But when I got older, I decided I wanted to be a teacher to help those students who were unable to learn the way that people say is normal, because I do not learn normal. So if you don't know, you need to ask questions. And not all students learn at the same style or rate, and that's what I've been talking about. I've taught kids how to do different ways of math, different ways of learning. How do you sound it out? We do these different things. But you need to trust your instincts, and I do. A lot of times I can zero in on those kiddos that are having trouble, and I just am able to help them get over that little hump. But my whole goal is to make a positive difference in the life of a child. That is my goal ever since I've been working towards being a teacher. I love teaching, and it doesn't feel like work. So I just make the most of my time, and I enjoy my students. So you have to be a risk taker sometimes and step out on faith. And I believe my thoughts support my educational success, and well-being of all of my students. And as an educator, I want to do everything I can to help my students. And these are some quotes to live by. And of course, with integrity, you have nothing to fear since you have nothing to hide. With integrity, you will do the right thing, so you will have no guilt. Zig Ziglar. And then, of course, making a positive difference in the life of a child. And nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. If you have adversity and you have power, you're not gonna do very well, because sometimes power goes to people's heads. So just thank you and have a blessed day. I did reference those two because I did pull them off, and I wanted to make sure that they were referenced. So thank you, and you have a blessed day.